When Doctor Strange was released in 2016, it was a huge boost to the career of director Scott Derrickson. He had done other movies like Sinister and The Day the Earth Stood Still, but Doctor Strange really put him on the map, so people wondered immediately after that film's success, would he return to helm the sequel? And the long and short answer is no, he wouldn't. There were creative differences, and he ended up leaving the project on apparently good terms. They just didn't see eye to eye on things, and then Sam Raimi came in to direct Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and the rest is history. So the question is, what was he going to do after Doctor Strange? And the answer is this film. He would return to directing horror with The Black Phone, starring his previous collaborator Ethan Hawke. And let's talk about it. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on the red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. So I really like horror movies. I like old horror movies. I like The Exorcist. I like Rosemary's Baby. I like slasher films like Child's Play and Friday the 13th and Halloween. And I like newer horror films as well. I really like the work of Ari Aster, like Hereditary and Midsummer, movies that really kind of get inside your head. And I was really excited to see The Black Phone, and I think the movie's great. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Scott Derrickson has experience directing horror films, and right off the bat, I like this movie. And kudos to Derrickson for capturing the look of like the late 70s and just going to town with it. This movie feels like a period piece. You could easily be forgiven for 100% believing that this movie was filmed and shot using the technology available at the time of its setting. So huge credit to Derrickson for getting all that stuff right. Everything from the kind of grainy look of the film to the music to the costumes to the way all of the houses and all the structures and buildings look, to the haircuts of the characters. Even the cast looks like they could have been pulled straight out of that era. And really, this is a great movie. It's a really simple film. I can't imagine that the budget was all that much. It's very stripped down. This isn't a movie about like some, malevolent spirit trying to like take over the entire world. It's a movie that takes place in suburban Denver in, I think, 1978, which is, it's Derrickson is from Colorado. I'm from Colorado. I like when filmmakers set their movies in places that mean something to them, which Denver clearly does Denver clearly means something to Derrickson. So I appreciate that he took the time to set his film there. And I like that aspect of it too, as somebody who hails from that part of the country. So it's basically about a prowler who stalks the streets of North Denver and kidnaps kids. He's called the Grabber by both the media and the locals, and he's just a weird guy who kidnaps and murders kids. And the film is about two young kids, Finney and Gwen, played by Mason Thames and Madeleine McGray, in some really, really, really good acting by both of these young kids. And if you're going to have a movie that's centered around children, in which they're the stars of the movies, you really got to get the casting right, because there's no leeway. Like, you have to have a kid that can carry an entire movie. And real credit to Thames, especially because he's the star of the show here, for being a great young actor. And I think I'm always fascinated in today's day and age looking at young kids playing in these movies, because I wonder in 10 years, are we going to look back and say, oh yeah, I remember he was really awesome in The Black Phone? Or are they going to do this movie or a couple more movies and then kind of, disappear? Like, what are their careers going to look like? Maybe we'll look back on him in this film and say, yeah, we always knew he was going to be a really special actor. And the same with McGraw. She might turn out to be a really special actress in the future, and really gives a great performance here. Also super excited to see Jeremy Davies in here. You would probably recognize him as Private Upham in Saving Private Ryan. He's like the cowardly soldier in that film. And then he was also the villain in the latest God of War game, and was awesome in that too. So he has a really like kind of actually an extremely important part in the film that's a little bit like understated. I feel like maybe they could could have done a little bit more with him and kind of his backstory. But he's really good in the film. And Ethan Hawke as the villain, the unnamed grabber, is also really good. And there's some interesting stuff and some like subtext behind the mask and what the mask means to the character. A lot of like unspoken things in the script about this villain that I really like and appreciate. But it's kind of one you have to watch to understand. And this is really stripped down horror, and this is a movie that does a ton with very, very little. And I like that from Derrickson. You know, he's going from big budget Doctor Strange, Marvel, and Disney throwing all the money in the world at you to make this huge film that you want to make, to him saying, you know, I'm gonna make something that's super small and intimate and simple. And I like that about the movie. This is like horror at its best, and I really dig it. So this movie isn't a bloodbath. I guess you'd call it like a psychological / supernatural horror film, and it's a good one. It's a really good one. So check out The Black Phone if you like horror movies. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you liked it, found it helpful, consider subscribing. You can also like and share the video. That tells the powers that be that it is worth promoting. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think of The Black Phone. Also follow me on social media at RealHometownZero on Instagram. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.